Today, Precarious plays
Zone of the Enders.
Last episode I was talking about the
You have a favorite story to tell, right?
Well, not so much a favorite story to tell. I know I said it was a story, but it's more of a favorite thing. I love, like, those visual hints that games put in. Like, for example, in,
Oh no, wait, a quick aside before I go into this map.
Yeah.
I think it's really funny how this doesn't look like a flying machine
Yeah.
right now. Like, this looks a little silly, but as soon as I turn the thrusters on, you're like, okay.
Oh, okay, yeah, that should work.
Yeah, that's a thing that flies. Okay, sorry.
Okay. But yeah, for example, in, Shadow of the Colossus, they would do this thing where, like, patches of grass would be a lot, like, conspicuously bright and fresh looking where you were supposed to go.
Oh, yes.
I love all those cute little visual hints that people now just use arrows and markers most of the time.
Yeah, I think that light and level geometry are two of the most important factors to guide a player without using that.
Yeah, and I think that that might be a side effect of more realism in modern games. Now it's kind of going back and forth where you have things that are just all kinds of different styles and different ways of rendering, like, whatever visual style you want. Some of them are very simple and vectorized and adorable for it, and some of them are absolutely pristinely textured and look very real. But I think that it's hard to make conspicuous geometry and things like that when you're trying to be, like, all gritty and real, without having the player sort of abandon their, lose their, like, suspension of disbelief.
You know, I think that by and large, I feel like that could be true. It takes a lot of talent and time and money to make something that guides the player without those kind of, like, giant arrows and things glowing in the sky. Just using, like, lighting and level geometry. I think one of the better examples I can think of, I have not played them myself, but I've watched a lot of design videos on them, specifically because I've never had the opportunity to play them myself because I don't have the console for it, and I'm not up for buying hardware specifically to play these games that honestly, outside of, like, the design of them, like, just observing the design of them and the craft of them,
Yeah.
I would not actually be very interested in the gameplay of them.
Yeah, so you don't want to get a console just to do research.
Not now.
Yeah,
like, later.
maybe later.
They'll be there. They'll be later.
Yeah.
There will be later for me to research them, and if not, I'll probably have died. So fuck it.
Yay, mortality!
The best reason to not buy a PS3.
Mortality. Nothing matters, we're all going to die. It'll be okay.
Yeah. Why even bother? The sun is gonna engulf us all one day.
Oh
So
my god, stop Rick and Morty.
the thing that I was thinking of, it was not The Last of Us, but it's by the same group.
Yeah.
Nathan Drake, Uncharted. The Uncharted series. That game uses a lot of subtle stuff like guardrails, right? Like a
Yeah.
guardrail that's broken and bent in just such a way as to try to force your eye. Well, I mean, you know, we fucking know about it because it's graphic design. It's the same principles, you know?
Yeah,
just
you
guiding
make
the eye.
something, you have to make people's eyes track around to what you want them to look at first.
Yeah, and then you just illuminate it. You just use contrast and geometry to drive people to look at a particular thing. And just like little things, like they'll have, well, stuff that sounds little, but would actually be fucking agony to render at the level that they do.
Yeah, because that's the thing, the detail. Oh, the detail.
And anytime, hold on, I'm getting ahead of myself, but stuff like having a flock of birds catch the player's attention by having it go and flap away at just the right moment, right?
Yeah.
We have destroyed a porter.
It's like those moments where you feel the game giving you a knowing look. Like, hey.
Yeah, and it's, I'm not really interested in playing that series. I haven't played any of them for any meaningful length of time. I played the first, like the opening of the first one, and ultimately I gave up on it. Like I returned the copy to, I think, GameFly, because I was borrowing someone else's PS3, and I wound up just playing more Little Big Planet instead.
Yeah. I love that.
But what I wound up doing was watching it like a movie on the internet.
Yeah.
And that, to me, that's not a great sign. If you can watch it as a movie. Well, anyway, enough of that. The point is, it's well done. It's a very smart way of guiding the player.
Mm-hmm. And that's a much more modern title.
And the problem with that, or not and, but the problem with that, at the level that they do it at, if they need to change anything, it could mean, I don't know, like days, weeks of labor.
Yeah, like I have no idea. The scale
Just
of projects that these people are working on, like I have no concept for. Like just the organizational level, like it could take more than, like it could take 5 fucking people 2 weeks to fix something.
Because somebody, yeah, they go, well, we changed something about the guns, so it can't shoot at this range anymore, and what we're gonna need to do is we're gonna need to make the whole level smaller. Like we're gonna have to make this whole combat encounter different.
Yeah.
So we need to change the level geometry, and now you guys have half the time to repurpose a lot of that same work. So fucking get to it, yeah.
Your problem. Figure it out.
I worry that the red boxes might just be.
We have obtained the item.
Sniper.
Okay. So that's just ammo for that. Okay, so that's what that is. I think another great example. A great example that I think is done probably with a bit more tact is actually Valve and Portal in particular. Because what they did is they just created an environment that can be relatively simple to adjust, but still look nice.
Yeah.
But
Because of the types of textures and surfaces that are inherent to the place that you're playing in.
right, which is why the second one is such a nice surprise, because the environments are so much more organic.
Yeah.
Visually, it's nice. I think it may. I'll have to play it again because I've only played Portal 2 through one time, whereas I've played through the first Portal I think 3 times at this point, 3 or 4. But Portal, both games are just awesome at using light to guide the player. It's really nice.
They're just awesome. Well, I don't think we have to tell the internet how smart Portal is. I'm pretty sure they figured it out.
Yeah, and I think it's well documented, like
all over the damn place.
Valve's use of light. Well, Valve is cool because sometimes they include director's commentaries that it's just overlaid in the game.
I know, I saw that, and it's freaking great. I love it.
That was the passcode for Halberd. But I found Gauntlet in EPS 2. I really want Gauntlet because Gauntlet is a very powerful technique in Zone of the Enders 2, and I'm hoping that that was a strong tradition that they carried over from the first game.
Yeah. Are you sure you've played this game before?
I have totally played it before.
I
know that I've played it before because I was thinking about stuff that I remembered, and I remembered another thing. I'm pretty sure that this game concludes with you fighting against Anubis in like a cylinder? Like a red and black cylinder that I believe is like a busted part of a satellite or something that you can like see out into space. And you have to fight Anubis, and the goal is to just not die, and then the game ends.
Huh, interesting.
So I remembered something important about the game, how it ends kind of badly.
Well, sounds like we've had a breakthrough today in your therapy.
And that'll be $400 payable to...
Bale, probably. Bale can take your check.
At the door. Get out.